In this video, you're going to be inspired with some of the recent upcycled projects that I've worked on. I'm also sharing with you a thrift haul from a recent thrift shopping trip that I know that you'll enjoy. And as a bonus, I have a recipe you're going to love. Let's get started. My name is Cindy and I'm from the blog reinventeddelaware.com. I'm so glad that you're here. I like to share repurposed and upcycled projects like this vintage window that I turned into beautiful art for our front porch. I have the full tutorial in a video as well as a blog post over on my blog. I'll have both of them linked down in the description below this video. Our biggest DIY project to date has been this outdoor garden shed. My husband and I built it over the summer, and then I decided to decorate it and organize it. I have lots of videos showing how we did this and blog posts as well, and I'll have that link down below in the description. If you don't know how to get to the description on a YouTube video, all you have to do is scroll down and you'll see the little section called See More. All you do is tap that and it will expand and you'll see all the links and the information that I tell you about. I'll also include the information in the first comment if that's easier for you to find. One of the things I look forward to doing in that garden shed is to start my own seedlings. Here I'm gathering seeds from my zinnias that I grew in my cutting garden this year. I've got a full blog post detailing how to gather your own seeds and save money so that you can have beautiful blooms just like this. I'll link that blog post down in the description and in the first comment. My husband loves to get in on the action here on my YouTube channel. In fact, he even took over my YouTube channel along with one of my daughters. They headed out to the auction. They had a great time. You'll see that video linked in the description and that first comment as well.
Hello everybody, I'm Steve and this is Anna.
Hi.
And we have taken over Reinvented Delaware's channel for today. So we are at Wilson's Auction in downtown Lincoln City, Delaware. And we're going to go in and we'll share with you some of the things that we find.
This garden shed has become one of my little retreats. It's especially adorable at night. But I did start to think that it needed something additional there off to the side. It needed a bench, and I just so happened to have one, but it needed a makeover. So of course, that's what we did. We gave this thing a makeover. I have the full tutorial on my blog, and I'll have that link included in the description and that first comment as well. Hubby saw what I was working on when he came home from work, and after I sanded it down, he painted it for me using a paint sprayer. It's wonderful to have a husband that loves to work on projects. Our oldest daughter and her 1.5-year-old baby girl have been staying with us over the last few weeks. We decided to take the baby to a pumpkin patch and pick out some fun pumpkins to decorate that garden shed and also our front porch. Maybe you're wondering why I'm not showing that sweet little baby. Well, there's just some things you gotta keep to yourself. She's awful sweet and I'm very protective over her, so just take my word for it. She's a cutie. My daughter and I did manage to sneak away for a couple of hours and we went to the local Goodwill. You'll be seeing that trip coming up here very soon. And stay tuned because at the beginning of that trip, I have some, well, let me just say, they're very interesting things for you to look at. Before we headed out to the Goodwill, I needed to make this recipe for a family reunion event on my husband's side. So I decided to make this apple crisp recipe that I've been making for well over 20 years. It's super easy. You use a cake mix and some apples. I mean, it couldn't be easier. I'm writing a blog post, so I'll have the full recipe over on my blog. By the way, everyone at the reunion loved it. It was so good. The apple crisp has to bake for about 45 to 50 minutes to get those apples nice and tender. So in the meantime, I decided to test out an idea that I've been thinking of for a little while. Now I know Christmas is a ways off, but I need to start thinking of these ideas so that I can get them out to you ahead of time. And I'm loving this idea. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be showing you in the coming weeks how to use these decorative transfers to make some really pretty ornaments and maybe even a garland and some gift tags. Now we're off to Goodwill. We really found some great things, so make sure that you stay tuned all the way through to the end, because I'll be sharing the haul at the end. But when I first walked in, oh my goodness, I saw the craziest shoes. I just have no words for these shoes. Wow. The heel must have been 5 or 6 inches. Yeah, they were crazy. And then there were these. I mean, I just couldn't help but look at them. How in the world could you walk in a shoe like that? This little wicker basket sewing stand cabinet thing, I don't know little sewing basket, I guess is what we would call it, was so adorable. The fabric was like a velvet on the top. It was only $6.99. It was such a good deal. So pretty. I love to check out the wood section in Goodwill. There's almost always some really good pieces that you can find. Sometimes when I'm looking, I'm only looking for the shape of something, not necessarily the design that is on it. Because if it's just a piece of wood, I can always change that, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be the 1980s decor that we see or the 1990s decor. We can take that piece of wood and transform it into something completely different. And I love to do that. What section of Goodwill is your favorite? Do you like to go to the dishes, the kitchen area where all the dishes are, or appliances? Do you like going to the lamp section or the wood section, or clothing? Are you a clothing fanatic and you like to search out the clothing at Goodwill? Tell me down in the comments. I would love to hear about your favorite thing to look for when you're out thrifting. And here's a tip. When you're out thrifting, be sure to think outside of the box. Don't just think of the season that you're in. Think of the seasons to come, like Christmas in the middle of summer. Look for those items, because that's when you can find a really good deal. You tuck it away and then you pull it out when that season comes. It's a win-win all the way around. I know you enjoyed watching those projects and just getting a glimpse of them. Be sure to check out my blog for all the details in some of my past videos so that you can see the step-by-step instructions for those. Now let's take a look at the items that I bought at the Goodwill. First up, I have this really pretty bracket, and I think that there were supposed to be 2 of them, but that's okay. We're just gonna work with the one that I have. It's heavy. I think it's resin. I'm not really sure. It has that interesting bar in the back. I don't know what that's all about. And probably a curtain rod or something like that went through it. We're going to do something with this. I don't know. It does have a little chip, so I've got to paint it or something. We'll see what we do with this. And it cost $1.99. And then I found this. Oh my goodness. Look how pretty this is. Love the detail. I don't think I have to do anything to it. It feels like cement, but it's not quite as heavy. It is maybe ceramic because it's glazed on the inside, but the outside is very rough feeling. It was $2.99. That's headed right out to my garden shed for some spring planting when it gets here. Speaking of spring, I found this adorable sun hat. And I know it's so early, but I couldn't pass this up because it only cost $2.99, and I'm collecting these. It's kind of made out of paper, and the brand, let's see here, saltlife.com. I don't know if that is a national name brand, but I know here in Delaware it's kind of popular. I just thought it was really cute. That's going to go out in my garden shed. I'll be using that in the spring and summer when I'm really working in the garden. I'm all over the place, I know. I found this star, and this could be patriotic, but it could also be Christmas. I already have one like this, and I might show you what I did with mine years and years and years ago, and I'll do it to this one here. It's like this wooden box, which is kind of cool. And let's see what it did. It cost $1.99. While I was in the wood section at Goodwill, I saw this. Now this only cost $4.99. That was a little steep because you know Cindy's cheap, but the shape of it was pretty unusual, and I really liked it for that. Now the other side is different. It's grooved. Can you tell that? These are grooves going up and down. I'm imagining if you're slicing meats that then the juices could run and have a place to go. I'm going to use this for decor, and I have an idea for what I will do for the back, and it's going to be for Christmas, so stay tuned to my next makeover video. I completely forgot to tell you, but the day that I was in there, the red tags were half price. So this was $4.99, but I only paid $2.50. Right next to it was this recipe cookbook iPad holder. You know, sometimes we're looking for recipes on our iPads. Sometimes we're using old-fashioned cookbooks. I still use those. And I found this here and I just loved it. It has a little metal stand. You know, the item would just, the iPad or the cookbook would sit right in here. It's a nice wood. It was only $2.99. I'm going to turn this into a little gift for somebody. While I was in the wood department at Goodwill, did you know that they have a wood department? They do. Anyway, I always go to the wood department and I found this. It was only $2.99, so that was a great deal. It has this beautiful word already etched. It's all nice and chippy. I may keep this sign for my garden shed. I'm not really sure yet, but for sure on this plain side, I'll be adding some, well, you're just gonna have to stay tuned. So go ahead and subscribe because I don't want you to miss this makeover video of all these things I'll be working on in the next couple of weeks. I didn't make out so well on this price tag. It was $4.99. It wasn't a red tag, so it wasn't on sale, but it was in such good shape. Now I'm going to change all this out. That mauve color from the 80s is not my thing, so I'm gonna make some changes. But this frame, look at the frame, how pretty that is. And it's in really great condition. I'm not sure I have to do anything to it, but this is going to have some Christmas decor in it, I think. Who knows? I could change my mind by the time I get there. And then there's this beauty. This was the deal of the day, and actually my daughter who was shopping with me, she found it and she said, oh, it's so pretty. I don't know if I want it. And I said, you've got to get that. Go ahead and get it. So she bought it, came home. She found a lamp in my home that she'd rather have and asked if I wanted to trade. I said yes. So I am the owner of this lamp, and it was only, I got to be careful because those are glass. It was, how much is that? $6.99, $5.99. And these are glass. I gotta be super careful. It's heavy, it's solid brass. It works, I've already tested that out. Let me show you one of the globes up close. Look at this, isn't that pretty? They've gotta be cleaned and washed. It's pretty dirty, but this pretty emerald green, when that light bulb, oh, I can't wait to show you what it looks like. But we're gonna clean up the base of this. Gotta be careful, I do not wanna drop that glass. The base of it needs some help, you can see that. This is super heavy. I know that it's solid brass. It just needs to be cleaned. But look at that unique lamp. Isn't that so pretty? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and click the like and the subscribe. I don't want you to miss out on the makeovers that are coming up in the future video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.